Good morning. I'm Julie Tonneson, and I'm Associate Chaplain here at Elon. This morning, it's a joy to welcome and to thank Geshe Sangpo for his blessings and a moment of mindfulness as we begin our time of Newman Lumen together. You'll notice our setup's a little different this morning, and that's because Geshe Sangpo has been creating and working to create the green Tara sand mandala for us, which, among other things, brings blessings for peace and harmony. So we certainly hope that after our time together this morning that you'll move over to the sacred space to check that out. It's a joy to introduce our speaker today, Sandoh Ahmadu, who is a member of the class of 2025. Sandoh is a psychology major and minoring in neuroscience and finance, I just learned. He is a multi-faith intern as well as president of the Meditation Club. He's from Washington, D.C., where he attended the German International School and was a part of the IB program there. It has been a joy to get to know Sandoh over, the first month of school? First month. I can't believe we're a month in already. And I'm so excited that we all have the opportunity to hear his story this morning, so please help me in welcoming Sandoh.
Thank you, Julie, for introducing me. How you guys doing this morning? Good? Cool. All right, I'm gonna get started then. Honesty, humility, and kindness. These are often the qualities I write about pertaining to myself, but I rarely include how I got to this point and what it took. I was born in Washington, D.C. in 2003, a younger brother. My mother is German, and my father is Sierra Leonean. Little did I know the role that this would play in my future. Sorry, okay. My mother made it a point to teach me German from a very young age so I would be able to communicate with my grandparents when visiting them in Germany. I don't have much memory of my childhood, only countless stories of going to Disneyland with my family, my sleeping habits as a child because I slept all the time, and sleepovers with my cousins on my father's side. I guess the first impactful event of my life is when my father left to work overseas in Tunisia. I was 6, and as you can imagine, this wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to adjust to. With my father gone, my mother raised my sister Sienna and I, all while pursuing her dreams to become an esthetician. It was only later in life that I would realize the immense pressure that she was under, and I love her and thank her for that. Now, 6-year-old Sandoh wasn't quite sure how to make sense of all this, and because of that, he thought, as many young children do when they're faced with sudden change in family life, that this event was somehow related to him, that in some way he was the cause of it. Of course, I know now that this is not the truth, but that's how he felt at the time. Fast forward a few years and I was to attend the German School of Washington, D.C. I was super excited to go there because this meant that I would be able to go to the same school as my older sister. All of the classes, and yes, all, of course, except for English and French, were taught in German. This meant 2 things for me. 1, that I would be able to improve on my German speaking, writing, and reading skills immensely, and 2, that I'll have to relearn everything that I learned at my public elementary school. I went to the German school from 4th grade until I graduated in 2021. Between those 8 years, a lot happened. In a nutshell, my sister went off to college at Occidental, my parents got divorced, my dad came back, and a big one, COVID. But from these events came the thing I cherished most, my love for meditation and mindful awareness. I discovered my love for meditation while searching for a solution to the mental difficulties I was facing during COVID. More specifically, I struggled with aggressive and depressive tendencies. And after visits to therapy, I soon found out that it just wasn't the help that I needed. So my mom encouraged me to take a more holistic approach to my healing process and asked me to visit a friend of hers who just so happened to be a life coach. Robin Tucker is her name, and I now have a lifelong friend and resource I know I can depend on if push comes to shove. Funny enough, my mom and dad always spoke about meditation. And as a teenager, whenever you hear your parents say anything educational, most of the time you ignore it. But some could say that this was my last hope. I first began meditating the fall of my senior year. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, take my ice cold shower, and sit from 10 to 20, for anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes meditating before I did my homework. Within the first week of combining life coaching with meditation, I noticed an uplift in my spirit. I would go to school for half the day and come back home for the remaining half of classes online. Over the course of the day, I can remember meditating at least 3 times. As the year progressed, so did my meditation practice. My dad gave me a book. Now, if you would have known younger Sandoh, you would know that it was nearly impossible for me to pick up any sort of book. But because the book had to do with meditation, I was super excited to get it. The book gave me the opportunity to take a step back and see things through another lens, a more analytical and centered one. It also helped me to visualize various exercises for my meditation and provided me with a safe space. And I am so grateful that my dad gave me that book. Another event that had and continues to have an influence on me was when I attended my first meditation retreat in December of 2020. My dad suggested that we do it together. The meditation retreat was led by Jonathan Faust, a co-founder to the Insight Meditation community of Washington, D.C. The retreat gave me perspective and sparked my interest of becoming a meditation teacher. And to add to all of these blessings, I received my acceptance letter from Elon University that March. Coming to Elon, I knew I had a home, somewhere where I could always go and always feel welcomed. I remember when I first visited Elon, I was a little scared from how nice everyone was to me. My first year at Elon was great. I met so many interesting people of all different cultural backgrounds and my best friends. But there was one thing missing. I didn't necessarily feel fulfilled. So I went to the Truett Center and I asked if they had a meditation club. Allison Police, the former multi-faith coordinator, and Jan Register welcomed me with their welcoming smiles. I knew right then and there I was in the right spot at the right time. They told me there was one called Iron Tree Blooming and gave me the contact information of one of the head members of the organization. I think it was that week that I attended my first Iron Tree Blooming meditation sit, and I loved it. Think of it, people meditating together in one room, radiating peace and well-being. There isn't anything better. After my first visit, I made it a routine to come every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. and be with my fellow meditators. I thought of it as a checkpoint for me, something to look forward to in my week. I thought if I just make it to meditation club, that everything else will fall in place as it should. As we say in northern Germany, wat moet, dat moet. It means what will be, will be. And this is the exact mindset I had. In the spring, I found out that the meditation club was looking for a new president, and so I took action. Today, I am not only the president of the Iron Tree Blooming Meditation Club on campus, but also a multi-faith intern at the Truett Center. And I am so proud of myself for stepping outside of my comfort zone to embody these two positions. Outside of Elon, I took part in the Power of Awareness course led by Jack Cornfield and Tara Brock, the founder of the Insight Meditation community of Washington, D.C., and wife to Jonathan Faust. Through this course, I have been able to add to my meditation practice and have made many connections. I also became certified in Reiki, a Japanese form of energy healing, this summer. Looking back, I wouldn't change anything for the world, because without those events that took place, I wouldn't be the man I am today, let alone be standing in front of all of you on this occasion. So to wrap things up, I want to leave you all with a quote that I wrote after a meditation sit back in this past January. A heart that is able to open and close is more protected than a shielded one. And as you go about your days, I wish only that you open your heart to everything around you and be okay with the outcome, whatever that may be. Thank you.
Shui Pama Senje Donje Dedan Deje Jing in Ro Donje Dado Donwa. Shonju Seba Gona Suju Ba Deda Gunje Melon de Jiro Ji.